Greetings, friends. This is Elizabeth Shermer, and this is our Aquarius full moon message. The Aquarius full moon occurs on Monday, August 3rd at 8:59 a.m. Pacific time. I'm coming to you a few days before the full moon because I just had an opportunity spontaneously to head out of town off grid for a couple days, and so this message is fairly spontaneous. I usually work with the energies of the chart and my guides for a day or so before I pull in the cards and synthesize everything that's coming forward. So today we have the benefit of the surge of spontaneity and a more free-form message coming through for you. It's a time of incredible alignment, a time of incredible opportunity. And remember, as you may have heard me say many times, and I have to remind myself of this many times, the degree of challenge in our life is a measure of the degree of opportunity. The universe always works in balance and harmony. So the fact that we're experiencing enormous challenges in our world and of course in our personal lives as well, these challenges are an indicator of the measure of the opportunity and the requirement for each of us to use our tools to connect within firmly to our own authority and to our own truth, and then to connect with each other. So if I have any other message to share with you today, it's that. Trust the universe, trust the good, trust the love that holds us, and commit every day to showing up for what you came to do in this lifetime. You're here for a reason. And so as we move through this period of change, we more and more are learning what we're here for, and we are learning the tools we need to participate. So my inspiration in these new moon and full moon messages every 2 weeks is for myself, and then for anyone else who finds benefit in these messages is for us to receive a universal message of practical support that aligns exactly with this time. And so as we begin, I invite you to drop in for a moment. Take a breath. With your breath, connect to yourself, to your heart, to your center. Feel your presence within. Feel the reminder of who you are. Return your awareness within, away from all the external distractions that so easily call our attention outside of ourselves. And let's see what our message is. We ask for the highest and best. And we thank the helpers and guides and our higher selves who are here today to support us as we connect now with the potentials of this full moon for each other and for our world. So if you remember the new moon message from 2 weeks ago, the Leo new moon message, and if you work with the cards, you may recognize these cards. I left the spread up for a few minutes. This is the spread from the new moon, and the reason it's here is because I want to give you an example of, I want to use this as an example of the importance of daily practice and the importance of daily touchstones. These cards meant a lot to me personally. These are called court cards. They're cards that represent in the deck, they represent aspects of personal mastery. To receive 3 court cards, especially these 3 specific court cards, in one spread of 4 cards is a phenomenal synchronicity, speaking to the truth and the reassurance and the encouragement that we are on our path of mastery and that we are here to participate in the creation of a new greater world. And so that's why these cards are here, is to encourage and invite you to use your own touchstones. These have been sitting here in my dining room since we connected 2 weeks ago, and every day I work with them, and every day I'm reminded that I am on my path and that we can trust in the support of our higher selves and each other and our guides to show up for the great work with a capital G, capital W, the great work of this lifetime. So find your touchstones, find your tools, and use them every day to remember who you are. Remember the truth of who you are. Okay. We are going to start with a quick description of the basic energies of this full moon. The sun is in Leo right now. I love using the cards for the teachers, personal ways to access these big energies in the zodiac. The sun is in Leo. This is the period every year when we receive a new connection to the power of rejuvenation, to the power of life, to the power of the inner fire that sustains us. In this card, in this painting of Beauty and the Beast, Beauty is claiming her inner strength, her inner lust, and she and the beast are claiming all the parts of themselves. The beast is turning into a lion, and together they are rising by bringing the truth of their inner nature into the light. So Leo is ruled by the sun. This is a time and a period of connecting to the truth of who you are, to feel your own inner alignment with source energy and source consciousness, the flame of your creativity, the flame of your power, the flame of your vitality, the flame of your emotions. And then halfway through, on the other side of the zodiac, at the full moon, Aquarius full moon with the sun in Leo, we have the star. We have the Aquarius symbol of, the Aquarian symbol, the star, of the power of the light, of source energy, of drawing down the light, and of receiving the light of new consciousness and new expanded awareness and new realizations of the truth of who we are and the truth of our place in the universe. So I love this full moon for so many reasons every year. It's actually my very favorite full moon. And these two cards symbolize the way in which we are at this full moon working with our inner light, our inner fire, and then the light of our consciousness. And learning how to merge the two to fully step into our own true power and our own true self and our own true light. So inner light and fire mixed and blended and activated by the light of source consciousness, the light of Aquarian awareness of the higher, bigger truths, and our ability to bathe ourselves in that light. So feel the inspiration that you can connect with at this coming full moon to receive the awareness of who you are and why you're here. And I want to say a couple more things with cards before I show you the chart. And that is that the two minor arcana cards for the full moon, the Six of Wands is the minor arcana card for the sun in Leo, and the Six of Swords is the minor arcana card for moon in Aquarius. Valor, victory, victory and science are the key words for these two cards, and what they represent. Sixes are about harmony, is a new connection. This is really important. This is a time of a new connection, of your connection to the higher order of the universe, the way you are aligned with the templates of the grids of creation, and the way that you, in the midst of challenge, in the midst of times of uncertainty, the way you can connect with those grids in order to receive your own health and vitality. One of the words that came through for me today around the Six of Wands as I was meditating was breakthrough. We're at a breakthrough time and a breakthrough point, and we have crossed a threshold out of last month's Cancer, very powerful cycles of activation. We've crossed a threshold into a new period of empowerment. The guides are saying now that trust, hold faith in the power of breakthrough, in the truth of breakthrough, and that this new full moon that's coming and the days following it will support the breakthrough that you are having, that we are in a breakthrough together, and we have to hold faith, and we have to hold together, we have to connect to each other and share our dreams and our fears and our hopes and our insights and our learnings, so that we can build together and encourage each other and support each other. Okay, just something else coming in. Breath. Continue to breathe. In the daily messages with the Daily Gold, the quality of breath is coming through very much in these early days of Leo. to work with breath to support your ability to connect with your emotional fire and harness your emotional fire as opposed to being consumed by it or reacting to it. The shadow of our fire and our will is to be overcome by the force of the flames, and then either to express that through rage or fear or anger, or rage or anger, or suppress it through fear and squelch our power. This moon, the power of the Aquarian moon, is to inspire you. Aquarius is filled with inspiration to inspire you to connect with the light you hold within, and to use your breath, use your what the spiritual tools you have to draw down the light, to open your heart, to connect with your own wisdom, and then feel the truth of the emotions and the truth of the fire and the truth of the vitality that rises from deep within you and from deep within the earth. Okay, so I'm going to, let me just say a little bit about the chart. Do I want to do that? Yes. Okay, so this is a picture of the chart, and you can see I circled the sun and moon opposite here. That happens at every full moon. Sun in Leo, this is the sign for Leo. Moon in Aquarius, that's the sign for Aquarius. What I want to show you is a couple of specific factors. One is that our powerful conjunction in Capricorn, these activations that are breaking down forms that don't serve us in order to create new forms that serve us better. The moon has passed over these. The moon's in new phase, what we call new phase, to those patterns and to that strong energy in Capricorn. And as the moon moves into Aquarius, it's giving you connection to what you value, not the values, the old values and old standards of authority that are being dismantled and all the conflict around us. What you have access to now is the inspiration to connect with your values, your power, your truth. That's the high energy of Capricorn, is the truth of what we value that serves all of us. And then that energy of the truth of what we value that serves all of us moves into Aquarius, where we explore those systems of new systems of order that we can create together through inspiration and through expanded illumination, becoming the stars that we are. And so the other thing I want to point out in this chart are the two T-squares. We've been having T-squares regularly, and there's an energy right now. The T-square helps us see things and make decisions and take actions. It's a call to action. The challenge is with the T-square is to feel the stress of the call to action, as opposed to learning how to take it inside and feel your own guidance and then ask for right alignment with right action, as opposed to being reactionary. So the T-squares in this chart are especially significant. They're Mars and Uranus. And Mars in Aries is calling for the action of a new rise of independence. There's a huge desire for independence now, and the T-square with Mars in the chart is amplifying that desire. Mars works very well with Uranus because Mars call to action, call to independence, call to move forward in alignment with the highest and best. It supports the desire and the energy of Uranus for change. Uranus is the lightning bolt of realization, the sudden leaving behind of the past, the sudden burst of insight, the sudden flash of illumination. Uranus rules Aquarius, and so this Uranus T-square with the full moon is your inspiration for freedom, your inspiration for revolution of whatever doesn't serve you. The one of the specific signatures of Uranus is revolution. And so that power to rebel against limitation is embedded in this full moon. The shadow of rebellion and revolution is to burn the house down. The power of rebellion and revolution is the inspiration for change and the inspiration to leave behind what doesn't serve us. So in tarot, the Fool is the card we associate with Uranus. And this card I wanted to show you today because this has been coming up regularly in the last few weeks, especially since we stepped into the new month of Leo with the Leo new moon. They're in personal spreads and also in group spreads I've been pulling. This Fool card is appearing to encourage us that we are indeed in a new place of opportunity, and to hold the expectation, the confident expectation of new beginnings. Feeling emotional as I say it, that's always a signal that there's truth to those words. And so feel that you can hold the confidence of new beginnings and the strength and the fortitude to face the unknown with courage and with your strong heart. The Fool is brilliant emerald green, signifying the connection to a strong, courageous heart. Okay, so let's drop into our spread, which actually I love. I love this spread. It's very practical and encouraging. So let me just see what the cards I have here are to share with you. Okay. The card, I like to start with the central card in the spread always. This is a body, mind, spirit. So the card to the left is body, the central card is mind, and the card to the right is spirit. And I begin always in my own connection to a spread. I always begin with the mind card in the center, and that's because this is my my mind is my point. Oh, it's crooked. That's funny because everything's a little crooked right now, right? Our mind is the point of awareness, and it's the heart center where we can connect, and how we bridge body and circumstances and spirit, which is our higher self and our guidance. How we bridge that and integrate it is in our hearts. So that's why I always start this spread from the center, which is the position of mind. And in the position of mind, today we drew the 8 of discs. It's called Prudence, and you can see that it is it's an image, an abstract image of a flowering tree. This represents the tree, the abundance of the world tree that supports us all, the fact that we are held always and guided in abundant well-being. And the word prudence, the flowers represent that. The word prudence is a teaching about our job in every moment is to show up for the next step, to participate in the unfolding of life, to hold clear awareness and love for the beauty of the earth and the beauty of our bodies, and then discern what our next step of action is that will best participate in the unfolding of life. So what's interesting about this card today is that it appeared reversed in the spread. Now I'm not going to turn it over because it's not indicating any kind of obstacle. The reversal indicated a very strong message for us right now to put our attention to inner order. Remember, the 6 of Swords science card is the card of the order of the universe and new realizations of the way we're held in universal law, the way we're held in the principles of love and balance and order, and the consciousness that connects us all, the mind of love that connects us all. So this 8 of discs today is a very strong reminder that we are held in this flowering process that is beyond what we can mostly understand right now. Turn your awareness to the order inside. That's really crucial right now. We have to tend to our inner order. So that's the message of the 8 of discs, prudence. Take prudence in tending to your health, your well-being, your energetic tools, your immune system, both in your physical body and in your boundaries. Boundaries are crucial right now to help us hold our own field while we participate in the world. And then a huge message of encouragement in the position of body, to the right, to the left. The position of body is the sun. The sun rules Leo. So this is an affirmation of the potential of this time. The sun represents expanded consciousness. The message I'm getting today from the sun in the position of body is to look for the good in the world and amplify the good. Again, I'm feeling emotional, so I know this is on point with, at least for me, the message to tend to my inner order, and then in my relationship with the world to look to the good. It's so easy right now, and I'm feeling emotional because I have the same tendency. It's so easy to focus on the areas of concern and distress, because we are holding space for healing and we're wondering what to do and how to participate. So the message today is to focus and amplify the good, amplify the trust in connection. One of the teachings of this card is community, and the way we are all joined together. You can't see this here right now, but around, painted in, you might not see it, maybe you can, painted around the edge of the card are all the zodiac signs. This symbolizes wholeness and unity and the expansion of our personal consciousness into the larger consciousness of the all that is. And remember that the sun is a star. So this is also an emphasis of the star of the full moon, our expansion into the awareness of who we really are. So know that in this full moon, it's uncovering your intuition. If you can align within and connect within, then you have the opportunity to see things and realize connections in new ways, to realize where the truth lies among the confusion, and hold curiosity and hope for those new realizations. And then the final piece is some practical advice from Spirit, the Four of Discs. This is called power. Whenever this card appears in a spread, it's indicating some new form of embodiment and grounding. And for me, when this card of the Four of Discs is the earth element, it represents physical grounding and physical empowerment or physical manifestation. When it appears in spirit, it always represents a new form of spiritual embodiment, a new form of spiritual grounding. And so I was excited to see this. The first message that came through was new opportunities for boundaries. And you can even see in the card the strength of the fortress. Imagine having boundaries that are strong like that. Now, this isn't about being defended in the sense of resisting. This is about having such strong boundaries that you can go anywhere and be present anywhere and be of service, and not lose your chi, so that you can really be a full participant in life. And so as I meditated on that message, I received an invitation to just share with you the processes of the Fourfold Way, which are embedded here, because the Fourfold Way is very practical, and it's very much about our ability to use the powers of embodiment and boundaries to strengthen our own container and our own containment. So the Fourfold Way, which we talked about, we may have talked about in the New Moon spread, because the Four of Swords was one of the cards in the New Moon spread, and there's a direct connection between the Four of Swords and the Fourfold Way. The practices are to show up, to pay attention, to speak the truth, and release attachment to outcome. So as a grounding for today's message, I was invited just to say a little bit, I was guided earlier to say a little bit about this practice and how it can help you navigate your relationship to the outer world and your relationship to the inner world. These are tools for prudence, for tending your garden, for tending your inner light, for tending your boundaries and your personal alignment, so that you can receive your guidance. So the first practice, show up. And I wanted to say that the Fourfold Way aligns also with the Four Agreements. The Fourfold Way is embedded in the work we do with the Thoth Tarot through Angelus Arian's work. It's also an expression of many indigenous practices. And so one of the most beautifully evoked of these practices is the Four Agreements. And so I will correspond the Fourfold Way with the Four Agreements now. So the practice of showing up, the first step of the Fourfold Way, is the first agreement of always do your best. Always, in every situation, commit to showing up and doing your best. In your body, that means take a breath, come to your heart, and remember where you are and who you are. Say, I choose to be present. Show up. Always do your best. The second practice, pay attention to what has heart and meaning. Pay attention to what has heart and meaning is dropping down into your body. Feel down into your emotional center. Drop into your belly or even lower to ground. And remember what's true for you. The fourth agreement, the second agreement corresponding to this practice is don't take things personally. When we are empathic, when we are emotional, when we have deep feelings and deep connection to others, we can lose our own boundaries and take on the feelings and emotions of others. And so paying attention to what has heart and meaning for you means focus on your own alignment. Focus on your own vertical column, ground into your body, and pay attention to yourself. What is your emotional guidance system saying to you? That's what's meant by don't take things personally in the most basic practice here. Pay attention to your own heart. What has meaning for you? Listen to that. Trust these two centers. Okay? Then the third practice is speak your truth without blame or judgment. And in the Four Agreements, this is the practice of be impeccable with your word. And what this has to do with now, after you establish your vertical alignment and you ground, you come back to presence in your center, is then to pull up the fire of who you are, the fire of your will, the fire of your creativity, the fire of your courage. Pull up that fire, let it infuse you, and then speak that truth. Speak that truth with courage, with inspiration, with confidence, and the caveat here, without blame or judgment. Fire can easily go into shadow elements when it's not controlled. So the challenge here is to be impeccable with your word, speak your truth without blame and judgment. Allow that truth to flow from you and create with your words. Allow your words to inspire yourself and others. Speak of your inspiration. That's what the guides are saying right now. And then the fourth practice is what really activates the whole cycle, and it has to do with surrender, releasing attachment to outcome. When we show up, when we commit to what has heart and meaning, when we speak our truth fully and passionately from our heart, and then we release attachment to outcome, that's the point of mastery, because we hold space for the highest and best without a need to personally know how that's going to happen. And so the way this is expressed in the Four Agreements is don't make assumptions. When we step into true mastery as co-creators, we can release attachment to how the highest and best is going to happen. We don't need to assume that what we know is the best way or the only way. This is one of the real shadow aspects right now, is misusing. The shadow side of this quality of surrender is the misuse of information and the misuse of wisdom teachings to distort truth, to create separations and confusion. So the quality of aligning within and then releasing attachment to outcome means that you can allow for the highest and best, and you don't need to attach to external versions of truth. You can hold curiosity for the nuances that are revealed. You can hold curiosity for paradox and all the possibilities that can unfold that you never imagined. It's when we really step in as true participants. So I hope that summary of the Fourfold Way and the Four Agreements is helpful for you. I often use those practices throughout the day within my body to help me come back to alignment. Okay, so with this full moon, we have a fourth card, which is super inspiring. So out of all of this and the practical guidance from Spirit and your higher self, to connect to higher self and source, to strengthen your ability to stay in alignment and to stay balanced with all of the illumination of what's being revealed. The final fourth card, something else to consider, is the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands represents the gift of life. New life, new inspiration. It's the beginning of an entirely new cycle. The Ace lives at the very top of the Tree of Life of all of the other 72 cards. It brings everything in. And so this message of fire and of life and of vitality is a message of encouragement for you to know that you can pray right now for connection to your higher self, for connection to the light that falls never ending like a waterfall through you and can nourish you and cleanse you and clear you. The light that comes with your breath, and the light that you can pull up from the fire and vitality of the inner earth, and the fire and vitality of your body and your creativity and your will. The entire universe is poised here with us to support our rise, to support our transformation, to support the new birth of this world. We've waited a long time. We've been through many lifetimes of challenge, and all those lifetimes of challenge are being revealed now. And it's important that all of this opens up so that we can hold space for the truth of what we have carried and that what we can now release. There's a beauty in, I'm not trivializing to say this, there's a beauty in the destruction because it's revealing what we are being called to heal. And the more we can transcend habits and patterns and old ways of pushing against each other and looking for an opponent outside, the more we can transcend those habits and patterns, the more we can feel within our own alignment to what we are called to do, to rise and to hold space for the healing. And then holding space for the healing and committing every day to be of service will enable you to receive the next steps, the next step in action. We don't know where we're going. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we can hold to our visions of truth, the beauty and truth of what we see as possible in this world and what's calling us. So strengthen your boundaries, reach out to your friends, pray for support, call on the angels, call on your guides. They will help you. The universe is aligned to support us. This is our work now. We are sovereign in this world. It's our work to bring back this card. This card represents the Garden of Eden and the way that we are here to create beauty and order and to participate in beauty and order in our world and to bring that beauty and order back. So hold space for beauty, hold space for mystery. Hold in your heart the curiosity of the flame, your own inner flame. I love how the Ace of Wands is glowing through the flame of your heart, the flame of your vitality and your creativity, and how you can harness that flame with your breath and with your consciousness to show up in new ways as we together co-create our new world. Happy Aquarius moon. Many blessings to you. This is Elizabeth Shermer and the Alchemy Mystery School. Have a beautiful full moon adventure, everyone.